Hey, I want to highlight a fun and creative way to use Google Slides in your class. So if you teach some students and you're trying to create a lesson where they get to drag something around and maybe they need to place it in a spot. So here for this elementary school lesson, we want them to spell a word and drag these tiles down at the bottom. And then we even gave them a hint of a picture of a cat over here. So if you want to be able to learn how to do this, make these little manipulatives to where they can drag inside of a Google Sheet and then turn that back into you, and that be their exercise or a warm-up that you do in class, then pay attention and I'll show you how to get started. So the first thing you're going to want to do to make your manipulative is to open up a drawing inside of Google Drawings. So go ahead over to drawings.google.com and you'll see a screen like this. So let's look at how we made the Scrabble looking tiles on the first couple slides here where we spelled out cat. So the first thing I'm going to do is name it. I keep all these in a folder so they're easy to find. Also kind of name them just with obvious names. So the first thing I need to do is create a shape. So click on your menu bar and select shapes. And I'm going to select something with a rounded edge. And then I'm just going to click and drag. I'm going to hold down shift. And now it's going to be locked into being a perfect square. So if you want it to be a rectangle, don't hold down shift. But if you're looking for a perfect square, go ahead and hold down shift and drag it out to your desired size. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a very thick border line on this just to make it pop a little bit and give it a little bit of depth. Then I'm going to pick my fill color, and instead of just a standard solid color in there, just for fun, I'm going to hop over to gradient and give it a little bit of a shadow from dark to light change in there just to make it interesting. Now, again, we're going to make the Scrabble towel here. So I'm going to click on Insert and Word Art, and I'm going to choose the letter X. Now I'm going to use Word Art just because it allows me to give an outline to my letter. So the first thing I'm going to do is stretch my letter to the appropriate size. And right now, it has the same fill color as my shape and same outline as my shape. So maybe I want my border color to be white and I want my fill color to be like a gray. So you get to choose your colors that way. And now since we made it word art, we can go through and we can even pick a different font that fits your style or the style better for, that you're working with your students with. So after you've done this, I need you to go up and hit File, and then we're going to go to Publish to Web. All right, you can choose any size you want. I know we're just making Scrabble tiles, so I'm going to choose small. Click Publish. Yes, I'm sure that I want to publish. Now I have this link right here. So I'm going to go ahead and hold on to that link and keep this page open, and I'm going to head back over to my manipulative page. I'm going to put all my letters back where I got them. And now I need to add that X tile to our game. So I'm going to head up to Insert, Image. Now remember, we created this link. Now we're going to use it. So let's copy that link. And we want to insert image by URL. There we go. I pasted it in and Google immediately found it. And so now all I need to do is resize it to be the same size as my other tiles. You can also double click it and crop it. So just crop it real tight to your outline, and that way you don't have any overlapping boxes and it'll be easier to select for your students. So let's go ahead and shrink it down and make it fit. All right. So now let's look at these tiles that I had on my science lesson. I had some pictures of amphibians. So again, let's open up a new drawing. And these tiles were circles. So let's click on the Shapes tool again and choose a circle. Remember, we're going to hold down Shift to lock the aspect, and then we'll have a perfect circle. as we drag it out. Great. I'm going to go ahead and move it towards the top. And then I'm going to click on the canvas out here in the checkered part and select this little triangle down in the bottom right hand corner. And this time I won't have to crop if I do this step correctly and go ahead and resize my canvas so the circle fills it. All right, click the circle again so it's selected, and remember, let's go for a nice thick outline, and then we'll select the inside color. So I'm going to pick a gradient, I kind of like those and like how they look. And now you're probably asking, how did you get just the animal with no white background? So as you're searching for images to insert, so let's go to Insert, Image, and we're going to go over here to Search. And so I already have 2 amphibians in there, and so I'm going to look for something else. I've got a dolphin in there as well, so let's just look for go simple, dog. And now here's the trick to getting an invisible background. PNG is the name of the file that has a transparent background. So I'm going to pick this picture of a dog, and when it imports, you'll notice there's no background on it. So that's just a cool trick. Anytime you need an image without a background on it, use PNG in your search for it, and you'll have an image with a clear background. All right, so you remember the next step. We're finished. So let's hit File, Publish to Web, select our size. I know it's going to be small. Any size will do. You can resize it, but I'm just going to choose small for this. Yes, we're sure. Copy our link. Head back over to our slide, and let's insert an image. Paste your URL in there, and there you go. Now I have a dog tile as well, and I can resize it to be the same size as the rest of these guys, line them up, and my students can come in here and play this game. So now you'll notice that I have a couple different layers. I have all my different tiles or layers, and then I'm going to call this the game board, my background image. So I created my background image inside of Google Slides. So let's just hop up one slide and I'll show you how I did that. So the first thing I did was add a text box. I selected an outline for it that was thick, and then I chose one that was not a solid line, so it indicates to my students where the drop zone for the tiles is going to be. Then in there I added clear instructions, so if they're on a Chromebook, they need to click and drag the tile. If they're on an iPad, they need to touch and drag. So, and then I said touch and drag all of the amphibians into the box. So then I needed somewhere for all of my tiles to sit, so I created a shape, added it down here, chose a color, and again gave it a nice bold outline to define where the tiles are going to sit that are not being used. All right, after you've created your game board, head up to File, and then you need to download as a JPEG image just this current slide. So after you've done that, create a new slide. It just needs to be a blank one. And you're going to add, do it the easy way, we'll just drag and drop. There's our game board. I'm going to go ahead and resize it so it fits the entire slide. And remember, to add all those game tiles, you're just going to go to Insert, Image, and then paste your URL in there. And there's your image, your tile, your manipulative. Drag and drop it down. And now, when your students head over into your Google Classroom, here's what they're going to see on their iPads. Make this bigger for you. All right, so here we have the assignment. I'm going to head into the assignment. Now, each student needs to have their own copy. So when you assign this, make sure you select each student will get a copy. They're going to go in and click in the top right hand corner with the box to open it up inside of Google Slides, and away they can go. They can touch the letter and then drag it and place it where it needs to be. And then they can head on to the next one and take care of the next one as well. So it's that simple. I think this is a super fun and an interactive tool for your younger students or even some older students that need to drag and drop things to classify them as you're talking about different types of animals in science. So get creative and think of some other ways that you could use this in class.